Hello everybody, this is Gabriel. So the year is coming to an end, and this is the top-down analysis. So I would like to give it a little bit a different view than usually. So I would like to try and pinpoint what are the top, maybe we'll see how many there are. What are the top 5 currency pairs that might develop a lot of momentum and strong trends during the next year or during the next couple of years. So here's the euro dollar. That's one of my candidates where I see really long-term potential. So I'm looking here at the weekly and the monthly chart for these pairs now, and the euro dollar, as you know, has tested the upper boundary of this sideways, of this diagonal channel. So this has really tested this very strongly. It came way up after this sideways consolidation here. It came way up, way beyond the 21. It has tested the 200 moving average, and it has tested the upper range here, and it tested a very important big number, the 2000. So it has tested even beyond. That's a strong test. What we see now is a snap back in overall trend direction down. So what I see for the coming year is that we're moving towards the par level. I could well imagine that we're developing here some momentum, the same way we've seen here in 2014. We might see a similar thing, or as well like during the financial crisis in 2008. I'm expecting something this to happen, like a series of long red monthly bars to meet the par level, and as it is such an important psychological level, if it comes very close, well, it acts as a magnet and it will actually cut through. So I'm expecting to test the lower boundary, and the overall target for the coming year or the coming 2 years is the 090,000 big number. So here's the Euro Swiss. Well, that's a special currency pair, as you know, because there was this peg at the 120, which was released here. So a big down move, and since then, for a couple of years now, we saw this pullback and ABC, a 2-leg pullback to develop, testing to the pip, the peg level from below. So the peg level has become a resistance now in the overall downtrend. We're clearly in a downtrend. We've made lower lows and lower highs. This one respected this high respected the prior high. So we're kind of turning around here, resuming the overall downtrend again here towards the par level. And well, we have two lows very close by. Both have been testing the par level. This has touched it, this has gone below. So that's a very important stop run level and a psychological number. So if we get the closer we get, the more momentum we might develop for Swiss franc strength against the euro. And here as well, I'm expecting a spike through again here towards the 09000 level. So let's mark that down within this year or the next 2 years. So it looks like the euro is getting weak, and the dollar and the Swiss franc should show a lot of strength during the coming year or years. So another one of my top pairs is the AUD US. Here again, US dollar strength against the Australian dollar. The AUD is very weak, and I've talked about that several times ago. Even against the New Zealand and dollar, the AUD is very weak. We can see it here. Well, it had formed on the weekly chart. It had formed a busted pattern. We've just cut through a couple of stop run levels. There was, well, after doing these stop runs here, the first stop runs, there was a good chance the price actually pulls back, well, which is very normal, right? Pulls back towards the flat level. So it didn't actually do that. The pullback was very shallow, which is a sign of weakness. And well, we can take that away. So it's a very shallow pullback, but it looks like we are having a very strong down move here in the monthly. This could develop into a one-leg momentum move without even with only minor pullbacks. So this has a lot of potential. And as you know, the potential is this move here. So that brings us below the big number over 6,000. And if we consider that the momentum move is even this two leg move, then we go well below the 6,000. We've got a prayer low here, very important low. So here as well we see an important stop run level right here, and the target level. Well, if we consider just this conservative move, a measured move, so this should bring us below this important big number. So there's a lot of room to go. There's an additional stop run level here, right? That is beyond the pattern itself. So part of the pattern, we still have energy to go, and we might see a pullback, or we might see a straight run through during the next 1 or 2 years. So here again we see US dollar strength, here again the against the Australian dollar. That's another pair that's interesting to analyze. It's the US Swiss. So we've already seen that there's a likely US dollar strength and Swissy strength coming into the market. Now let's see how they look like one comparative to the other. So this is a busted pattern I've pointed out several times in the past, but it has triggered, but it's not starting. It hasn't developed momentum so far. So the original stop has been held. It has made lower highs, but it's not developing any momentum, any follow through. If we zoom out and see more price history, we can see that this busted pattern actually has to be seen. Well, this is the momentum move. It's a very big move. Like it's a move that lasted for about 10 years. So the potential here is that we see a measured move like for another 10 years down. So we might see a tremendous strengthening of the Swiss franc against the US dollar. So this is a pair that might surprise everybody. That Swiss franc finally comes into the market. It might well fail as well, because it has taken so long now without any sign of strengthening of the Swiss franc. But this has a lot of long-term potential once it starts running. So here's the pound US. The pound is very weak. Well, this is due to the Brexit. Well, one thing is the Brexit decision. This is this red bar. That was when the Brexit referendum came out. That Great Britain wants to split from the European Union. This was a busted pattern here on the monthly chart. I've mentioned that during one of the live trading workshops in end of 2014, and it has run its course. It has already run its not only the stop run levels here below the consolidation, but as well it has achieved its goal, the measured move of the per momentum move. So since then we've seen a very pronounced pullback into the moving average, and as this is kind of an early downtrend, I actually don't know where it's going, where the potential is for this chart. The only thing I know is that here as well the par level is a very important number. So we might well weaken the pound against the dollar for another 30%. This is well into the charts. So if there's a decision that Brexit actually doesn't leave the Eurozone, which is already talked about in the press, then we might well see a test of the flat line. So this promises a good volatility, the pound versus the US dollar. And last, I wanted to show you this chart. It's a CAD Swiss on the monthly. It's kind of a synonym for many other pairs. We've seen for a couple of years now kind of a sideways price action with not too much momentum on the higher time frames here, the monthly chart. But what this chart tells us that there might be a lot of momentum coming into the market, and I think the market is kind of ripe. We can see this is the consolidation since 2015, so it's kind of a 3-year, 4-year sideways consolidation we see in many other pairs. So the absolute minimum we can expect is a momentum move like this, or like a 1 month or a couple of months move lower, but I'm actually looking for this whole move here. Like that's from 2008 to 2015, so that's seven years, right? So we might look into, like, after this consolidation, which is very long, so then you can expect a follow through that goes on for a long time too. So we can expect a couple of years, up to 8 years, yeah, up to 8 years trending phase in the higher time frame. And I'm looking actually for, yeah, for a very similar move like this. So this started with the 2008 financial crisis, and then here in 2010 we had another wave, and kind of, yeah, that was a wave that was yeah, a very quick one here, just a 1 month wave, if you so want. So I'm looking for something very similar. Like this should start with a quick 1 month down, clearing all this price resistance. And once this is cleared, then the overall downtrend should resume in a good follow through, like in a good momentum fashion way. So this is what I foresee. I don't hope that this is going to, like, these sideways ranges are going to continue for another year. To me, it seems like the market is ripe. We've developed here like a nice bar that is testing the lows, and it has already broken these three, or these four lows. So there's one more low left for this yeah, for this consolidation to actually break lower. So this might take another couple of months into the next year. I'm expecting kind of, yeah, in the at the end of the first quarter or beginning of the second quarter, we might see a lot of good higher time frame moves in the currency markets. And this means that whenever the higher time frames move well, this triggers down into the lower time frames as well. And whenever the yeah, the monthly and the weekly, or the daily are trending nicely, well, you get a lot of tailwind for trading lower time frame patterns as well, like the 5, 15, 60, or even the 240 minute chart. So I hope that was of interest and good trading for the coming year. Thank you.